If you want to dip your toes into the world of photography, point-and-shoot cameras are one of the best ways to do it, and there's a good reason why. For starters, point-and-shoot cameras are ready to go out of the box, hence the name point-and-shoot. No need to think about buying a separate lens anymore. Just plug in an SD card, charge the battery, and you're pretty much good to go. For comparison, a full-frame camera like the one I'm using will require a lens. Although some companies offer kit lenses out of the box, you will eventually ditch that for a proper fixed or zoom lens since it becomes lacking. Not to mention, these lenses are very expensive, and if you move up the range, you will have to buy a body and a lens separately. And as you all know, those nice bodies and lenses are very, very expensive. But there are a lot of point-and-shoot cameras available on the market today, and like with all hobbies, it can be confusing at first. So, to help you choose which one is the right one for you, in this video we'll be talking about the top point-and-shoot cameras on the market today. Do note there is no ranking system in this video. These cameras are listed randomly and cover a wide variety of price range for various budgets. So, without further ado, I'm Jose from Yugatech, and let's get right into it. Easily one of my favorite point-and-shoots on the market today is the Ricoh GR3 or GR3X series. There's no official Ricoh store in the Philippines, but the cameras are available at Henry's, Kim Store, and other retailers nationwide. With that, the prices do vary from around 50,000 pesos and up. Some stores even offer the new HDF models, which come with a built-in highlight diffusion filter, which HDF stands for. So you might be wondering what's different between the GR3 and the GR3X. On the outside, they're effectively the same, and internally, they're almost the same as well. The only difference is the focal length at which the cameras shoot. The GR3 shoots at 28mm for wider application, while the GR3X shoots at 40mm, oriented more towards street photography. On HDF models, you can also turn it on to give your photos a more dreamier effect. Both the GR3 and GR3X use a 24.2 megapixel APS-C CMOS sensor. In addition, you also have 3-axis sensor shift stabilization, a 3-inch fixed touchscreen LCD, and a single memory card slot. Since the image size aren't that big, nor does the camera shoot fast, you can get away with using more affordable SD cards as well. When shooting, there are various parameters you can adjust to give you different photo modes and even something similar to film. But of course, you guys should try it out for yourself to see whether this camera matches you and to experience what the camera is capable of, and along with the other various features you can toy around it. While the Ricoh GR3 series is mainly known for capturing great photos, it can record videos up to 1080p. But of course, do set your expectations when shooting video on this point-and-shoot. It's mainly known for photos and not video. When it comes to point-and-shoot models, the Fuji X100 series easily sets the standard. That's probably why it's really hard to get your hands on the new X100 VI. And if you do get your hands on the Fuji X100 VI, you will have to shell out 103,990 pesos, which is the official SRP of this camera. But what do you get with the Fuji X100 VI? On the outside, this camera looks identical to its predecessors, retaining the clean, classic look and feel. The only exterior difference between the X100 VI and the X100V would be the new screen, which now tilts more. But overall, Fuji users will feel right at home, especially if you've used the older X100 series models. Like before, you still have a lever to switch between the optical viewfinder or the electronic viewfinder. Under the hood, Fuji did install a new 40.2 megapixel APS-C X-Trans CMOS 5HR backside illuminated sensor on the X100 Mark VI. It also runs the new Fuji X Processor 5 and now comes with an in-body stabilization or IBIS for the first time. There are also new film simulations available out of the box, but of course you can still create your own, giving you the freedom and independence to create your own shooting style. Video output has never been the strong suit of the X100 series, but Fuji did upgrade the X100 Mark VI as it can now record 6.2K at 30 FPS. But again, if you find the X100 VI too expensive or you can't find one for SRP, or you just can't find one, you can always get a second-hand X100V as an alternative. Even though it's a bit older, the X100V is still great even to this day. And I have a few friends who still use it to take amazing photos of whatever scenery they're in. When it comes to taking photos and videos, Sony easily comes to mind, especially with the A7 series like the one I'm using and the A6000 series. But they do have point-and-shoot models as well. One of the most popular ones today is the ZV series. For this video, we'll be specifically checking out the ZV1 Mk2 because that's the only one that is a point-and-shoot. Launched only in June 2023, it's one of the newest members of the ZV series. While Sony Sony does have the ZV-E1, the ZV-E10 Mark II. These don't have a fixed lens and you will need to buy lenses separately, so not exactly a point and shoot. Going back, compared to its predecessor, Sony didn't really change much on the outside of the Mark II compared to the original ZV-1. Even the 3-inch LCD touchscreen is the same, save for some improved touch functionality. Inside, still uses the same 20.1 megapixel 1-inch stacked CMOS sensor, optical steady shot, and even has the same video recording capacity of 4K at 30 FPS. So if it's pretty much the same, what did Sony change then? Well, the first one is the lens. The ZV-1 Mark II uses an 18 to 50mm 1.8 to 4.0 aperture Zeiss Variosonar T lens, offering a wider focal range. Since it has a wider lens, this makes it easier to shoot vlogs, which is what this camera is mainly used for. It also comes with a built-in ND filter. Other features of the ZV-1 Mark II is the addition of cinematic vlog mode, allowing for more enhanced video aesthetics to match the mood of the video that you really want to capture, making editing a lot easier in the process. And for those of you wondering, the Sony ZV-1 Mark II currently retails for 50,999 pesos on the Sony Philippines website. But of course, if you find it a bit more expensive, you can always go for the original Sony ZV-1, which is interestingly still available on the Sony website. But of course, you can always get a second-hand unit for a more affordable option. Before the ZV series was launched, the point-and-shoot camera of choice from Sony was the RX100 series. It's still available on the Sony Philippines website to this day, but the last one released, which is the one we'll be talking about today, is the RX100 VII, which is now 5 years old, originally launched back in 2019. Despite being 5 years old, the RX100 VII is still a great point-and-shoot camera to this day. It's a very small camera, especially when you compare it to the ZV series. It also uses a 20.1 megapixel 1-inch stacked CMOS sensor, which appears to be the same one used in the ZV-1 series. It comes with a 24 to 200mm f2.8 to 4.5 aperture lens, giving you a wider range to shoot with. Features a 3-inch tilting touchscreen, but it's not fully articulated. It does have a pop-up electronic viewfinder though, giving users more flexibility when shooting. For video, it can capture up to 4K at 30 FPS, and there are various picture profiles you can use as well. It even has up to 1000 FPS at reduced slow motion for super slow-mo recording. And given its small really compact size, you can easily bring it around and shoot from wherever you want. And it really won't draw the attention of people since it looks like any other point and shoot. Since it's also very capable of shooting video, you can also vlog and do it a bit more discreetly. Just bring a mic and you're good to go. I mean, just compare it to vlogging with one of these. Currently, the RX100 VII retails for 69,999 pesos on the official Sony Philippines website. But since it is a bit older, you can always find secondhand units on the market for a lot less. Moving from Sony, we now talk about Canon. And when it comes to Canon, Canon's R series lineup might be the talk of town when it comes to photos and videos, especially today. But when it comes to point and shoots, they also have the G7x Mark III. And just like the RX100 VII, the G7x Mark III is a bit dated, first launched back in 2019. However, interestingly, it is still available on the Canon Philippines official website. In terms of specs, the G7x Mark III uses a 20.1 megapixel 1-inch stacked CMOS sensor. It also uses the Digic 8 image processor, which gives you that signature Canon color that everyone is very fond of. And interestingly, it's also found on other cameras like the Canon EOS R100. It offers a wide range of focal lengths ranging from 24mm up to 100mm with an aperture of f1.8 to 2.8, and of course it features OIS. You also get a 3-inch tilt-type touchscreen LCD screen, a max ISO of 12800, and built-in ND filters. Like the RX100, it's a great camera for traveling since it's a relatively compact in size and it's also lightweight. Despite its small size, it can shoot 4K at 30 FPS or 1080p at 120 FPS for those really slow-mo shots. The Canon G7x Mark III currently retails for 50,498 pesos on the Canon Philippines website. But given how old it is, of course, you can find a used one on the market as well. Just do your due diligence when buying one. Of course, we have to end this list with arguably one of the best point-and-shoot cameras on the market today, especially if money is no object, the Leica Q3. Yes, it's not for everyone, especially since it retails for 377,990 pesos, which is a lot of money. But if you have the budget and of course the talent for it, why not? It is a Leica after all. You really want a camera with the red dot. In terms of specs, it's the most feature-packed one on this list for good reason. The Leica Q3 features a 60 megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor and uses Leica's own Maestro 4 processor. The camera uses a Summilux 28mm f1.7 pix lens, but There are various zoom modes available, starting from 35mm and up to 90mm. You also have a 3-inch touchscreen LCD panel and an OLED electronic viewfinder to line up your shots a lot better. You also get a wide ISO range from 50 up to 100,000. And despite Leicas being known for photography, this camera can record up to 8K at 30 FPS and even supports ProRes 422 recording. It's also great for all kinds of weather conditions since it is weather sealed and comes with IP52 resistance for dust and water. Then again, will you really be using your Leica especially when the weather's bad? I mean, I don't think so. But again, you do have IP52 resistance for dust and water in case, you want to be a bit more adventurous with your camera. Now do note that the Leica Q3 is a bit on the heavy side with the battery included, but you probably won't mind that, especially given what this camera is capable of doing. As mentioned earlier, the Leica Q3 retails for 377,990 pesos, and that's assuming the Leica store in Manila has units in stock. If not, you're gonna have to pre-order one. And if I had the budget, I would be definitely going for one of these. So, out of all the point-and-shoot cameras on this list, which one would you choose? Are you mainly looking at something for photography, vlogging, or a mix of both? Whatever the case, share your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you found this video informative or just enjoyed it, do drop a like and subscribe to watch more. We might even do more camera videos in the future if you want. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And of course, visit yugatech.com to stay updated with the latest tech news and reviews, and also camera news. Once again, this has been Jose, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.